What's up, everybody? Welcome to another new edition of Celtics Beat. And I don't know, Evan, we might need to rename this show or sort of recalibrate the way that we do this show, because I think it's gradually just turned into a celebrity podcast, really, is what we're doing here. Adam Kaufman, Evan Valenti. Yeah, we had Donnie Wahlberg on with us last week, hanging out, having a good time. And for those of you watching on video, you already see we have I don't know what to call you. It's Tom Everett Scott, but do I call you Tom? Do I call you Thomas? Evan and I have been calling you TES over chat because we feel like we know you already. Welcome to the show, man.
Hey, thanks for having me. I don't know. Just call me Mr. Tom Everett Scott would be fine.
Yeah,
I guess.
What do your
Easy,
kids
yeah.
call you? Dad? Should we just call you?
Yeah, my kids call me Dad. I'm Tom. I'm Tommy to everybody back in East Bridgewater. I was always Thomas Everett Scott when I was in trouble with my parents. You guys can call me Tom. Tom's fine.
Perfect. Well, it's great to have you here on the show, and excited about it, obviously. And I feel like I blew the introduction already, because I was going to introduce you as fake drummer, real Boston sports fan, Tom Everett Scott.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
Sure.
Because I was going to ask about this, and the fact that we've already fake drummer.
Yeah.
Well, according to the bio.
Yeah.
So you don't actually know how to play drums?
I know how to play the one song.
Okay, because you fooled me. Like, as a drummer, okay, full disclosure, I've been playing drums since I was in 3rd grade. And one of the things I looked for when we were, researching and getting ready for this particular interview, I was like, man, he's like actually playing that. Like, that's not like a joke. Like, he's all the fills are this, like, that's correct. His stick, he's doing traditional grip sticking. Like, this is all pretty legit. So one of my questions is going to be, so you don't know how to play drums, you just know how to play that one song, and that's it.
You know what? I mean, it really is like it's a great story, because I think in another life I was a drummer. The truth is that Tom Hanks was looking for actors who he could then figure out the music stuff later. But I did play trumpet in the East Bridgewater High School marching band, something I'm very proud of, Viking pride.
There you go.
And I know how to read music, and he said, "Oh, so you have some sense of rhythm, blah blah blah." And they got me a teacher, and this guy who taught me drums, and I was living in New York City at the time. This guy, his name's Billy Ward. He's fantastic. He's a session drummer. He's played with like everybody. He said, "I'm not going to teach you how to play drums. I'm not going to teach you paradiddles or any of that stuff. I'm going to teach you how to hold the sticks, look cool, and we're going to learn these songs." And he would write my stuff out on sheet music, because I can read music. So that was like really, really helpful. And we also had 2 months before we even started filming, where we got a month one-on-one with our guys. Each of the guys in the band had their own teacher. And then we did a whole month in LA, just in a studio. Just the 4 of us would get together, and Tom would come by and hang out. And I was like freaking out, because it was Tom Hanks. And then we would just play, and we would play and play and play until we got really good at all the songs that we had to do. And it was a number of songs throughout the movie. And there was also a number of variations of that thing you do as the band gets better. Some of the fills got harder. And then by the end, when I'm like in the studio alone with Del Paxton, that jazz piece, my teacher from New York, thank God, he played that and then recorded him. And then he came and he said, "This is what I did." So a lot of that stuff was just making sure that we were all comfortable and good. But I think I really took to it. I had a really amazing moment with Tom where he was like, "You're drumming, and the movie is really hinging on this." And I felt so proud of the work that we all did as musicians. And Steve Zahn, who's my best friend, we met on that. And he said to me in the very beginning, he kind of grabbed me by the shoulder. He said, "We cannot look fake. We can't, because when we watch movies and see people who obviously don't know what they're doing when they're playing guitar or drums or anything, you're just like, oh, that's terrible. We can't be those guys."
What was the hardest thing you had trouble with? I'm curious. In terms of like learning how to play. I'm sorry, I'm to step on you, but this is like
in the beginning,
time where I get to shine here.
That's okay. No, man. I loved every aspect of it. And the thing that gave me the hardest trouble was the feet, the kick drum, and the cymbal, the hi-hat. And so it came to me. It just came to me, man, because I would drum on the subway, with my hands on the toilet, on everywhere. I would just be like, and one day, like the foot and the hands just all went. And I was like, "Oh my God,
that's it!" Yeah.
So, yeah. So I have a kit. The kit is here. This is my studio, but on the other side of this is the garage, and we got the kit set up. And my kids play music, and we still jam a little bit.
Yeah,
Well, so I was going to ask you, and of course, we're for anyone that missed it or doesn't know, we're talking, talking in part about the movie That Thing You Do, which was Tom's first movie, if I'm
classic.
not mistaken. And so you mentioned you could play the song. Can you? I don't know. I can't think of what year did the movie come out. How many years has it been?
96.
So a good little while ago. I mean, you're not too
Mm,
far away from the 30th anniversary and some special
mm,
Blu-ray getting released with all sorts of commentary and everything. Can you
right.
still play the song?
I can still play the song. Yeah, we actually played not too long ago. Jonathan Sheck and Ethan Embry and I all played at the Roxy because a friend of mine had this comedy show where he would. It's a long story, but it was basically like comedians or celebrities would get up on stage, tell a story, and there was a house band, and they would jam out whatever song they wanted to. That kind of had to do with their story. And so this comedian Adam said, who's the host of this show, it's called the Goddamn Comedy Jam. He said, because we have mutual friends, he was like, would you want to jam on That Thing You Do with me at the Roxy? And I was like, I'll do it, and I'll see if the other Wonders will come do it. And that was our first reunion in years. Unfortunately, Steve was filming and couldn't be there. That was my one regret. But we got up on stage and played it. And I guess it didn't really. It was like riding a bike.
That's awesome. I don't think my girlfriend's listening to this, so I think I'll be okay with this. One of the thing that gives most people the biggest trouble is the kick pedal, because you can do stuff with your hands, that's fine, but then when you add the third like appendage into the whole equation, it makes life very difficult. So sometimes, like in my area, there'd be live music around, and sort of my go-to like pickup line was like, "Hey, I'll teach you how to play drums to this song real quick," and I would take women and I would show them, how to play very easy, 4/4 time, just basically eighth notes on the hi-hat and 2 and 4 with your snare stick. And just basically like, I'm going to teach you how to play drums in 5 minutes or in 3 minutes or whatever it was. And then when I would add, I'd be like, oh, you're getting great at it. I would add the kick drum to it. Everybody's brain breaks because it's like, oh, I'm like, yeah. So when you get really good at it, you're going to add your other foot too. And there's going to be 4 things going on at the same time that you kind of have to subdivide in your head. So it's all kind of is tough. And then like really, thematically, your right foot and the bass player, depending what hand they play with, their right hand should be, pretty much identical. And so you got to kind of factor all this stuff in. So I'm just the fact that you had a musical background, but you didn't really know how to play drums at the same time, like pulled that off. My God. I'm so like,
Thanks, man.
that was awesome. That's awesome. I went into that thinking, I'm like, I have to look to see how. But once you brought the traditional grip, which I don't even play. Like my wrist doesn't work that way. I was like, shit, this guy really knows. Oh, excuse me, by the way. This guy really knows how to play drums.
I don't care.
Well, I mean, it's for the kids at home. I'm just trying
to.
We've got yelled at for that before. My fault, folks. But it was like one. I was like, man, like, because I always question, is like the guys that play music, in a movie, is Joaquin Phoenix really playing guitar when he's doing Walk the Line, or is Jamie Foxx really playing piano when he's doing Ray Charles? Comes to find out, like, he took lessons from Ray Charles and like kind of nailed it. So I always give guys tons of credit. Like there's a live theater production, Adam. I don't know if you've seen it, or Tom, if you've seen it either, called $1 Million Quartet. It's about let's see here, Johnny Cash, Elvis Presley, Jerry Lee Lewis, and Carl Perkins, like, all meet in the studio. And pending what version you see, most of them should have guys live on stage playing their actual instruments. And that changes the game entirely for a guy that's a musician, because it's like, wow, not only are these guys like amazing actors and doing all this other stuff, but they're throwing in the live music thing too, which is a whole different element. And the fact that you guys pulled that off is just tremendous, Tom. Congratulations, man. That's awesome.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I appreciate it. I just have so much tremendous respect for real musicians. Like, I never really say I'm a real musician. That's why it says fake drummer, because I really can't do what they can do. And I'm in awe of it. I'm a huge music fan. So yeah, I'm always amazed at what real musicians can do. The background for me as an actor, part of it was my dad and his friends would dress up as American Revolutionary like soldiers and reenact. My dad was a reenactor.
Yeah.
And as a little kid, it was amazing. As an adult now, I'm realizing, like, ooh, wow, that's kind of weird, but awesome. And so I would be
on the technical term for those reenactments.
I don't know, but well, now people call it LARPing or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I'm saying. LARPing, yeah.
so they would like reenact battles in Massachusetts, and then some guys would be the British guys, and some guys would be the American Revolutionary guys, and there would be the drummers, and the drummers would have the side slung drum, and that's why traditional grip was that way, so that you could have power with your left hand and hit the drum that was on an angle. So I learned how to do traditional grip even as a little kid, because those drummers would show me how to hold the sticks.
Yeah.
So that was kind of cool when Tom was like, I think he's a jazzer. I think as a jazzer, he would hold a stick like that. Like sometimes Charlie Watts from the Rolling Stones would hold his sticks like that.
Yep.
Ringo was match grip. Obviously, a lot of my performance, I think, was based on Ringo's like mannerisms. But it was that traditional grip. So my teacher was like awesome with showing me how to do that. And it was super fun. When I play now, I play match grip. Traditional is too hard.
It's hard. It's really hard. It's really tough. And
Yeah.
the guys that do it, like they're like Vinny Caliuta, Steve Gadd, geez.
These current guys who play with that grip.
Gene
Gene
Krupa,
Krupa, yeah.
another good one. Buddy Rich, obviously. Like the guys.
I just watched a ton of that stuff. I would just like they sent us just boxes and boxes and boxes of VHS tapes to study everything about drumming bands. 1964. It was just like a constant, like it was just. No one does this, by the way. So this is the magic of Tom Hanks. He was like, I want my guys to have so much research, and this 2-month run up to starting of shooting, we were like full on. We were there. We were just like soaking it all up. And he's one of the greatest guys in the world for many reasons, but one of them is he just really likes to make a great film.
Evan, I can't believe your girlfriend doesn't listen to this podcast.
I know that's the biggest.
Why?
Like, she's not a huge sports fan, so that'll.
She's not a sports fan. No. But why would you wish that she listened to this?
No, I wish she. Well, I mean, just for the listenership would be nice. She's like, hey, I heard your show. It was
just
great.
To support
like,
the relationship.
That'd be cool. But like, at the same time, I don't need her.
Even knows I have a podcast. So that's
Yeah, I don't need her knowing how I used to pick up girls at bars. That's a conversation.
Yeah, no. That's a creepy one. The air drumming as a move. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't need her to know that.
It's like showing someone how to do a golf swing. It's a little. Let me show you how to do that.
Now, let me stand behind you. Teach you how to hold the club.
I feel like a creepy old guy now. Thanks, guys.
So people out there,
I'm here to help you.
listeners are probably thinking, hell, Tom is probably thinking, I thought this was a sports podcast. Let's talk,
Oh,
let's talk a little.
I'm kind of glad we're not talking about the Celtics because I haven't really been paying attention.
Well, we're gonna sell you.
That's where I want to start. Now, because
Okay,
it was a mutual friend of ours that helped us coordinate this, and obviously our interest in having you on the show being that you're a Boston guy, you're a Boston sports fan, but he did say, he's like, heads up, I think he's more of a like Patriots Red Sox guy than he is a Celtics Bruins guy.
True.
So what is your Boston fandom in general?
I would say that Red Sox, I watch every game. I have the MLB, at bat app, and it's one of the greatest things in the world because you can watch it or listen to it wherever you are. So I'm always there on the Red Sox. I was a disappointing season this year.
Yeah.
And then
a disappointing winter at the moment.
And yeah, so then Patriots, I love Patriots, always have. So I know people always groan when I say I'm a Patriots fan, no matter where I am in the world.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, hey, I get it. No, you hate us. We win. We didn't used to win. When I was a fan in the beginning, we were horrible. So I'm a real fan.
And that's what you need to say to people. Like I was there in the 80s.
Gator Stadium.
Like I didn't just start in 01 when the other Tom got going.
Right. No. Mosey Tutupu, Steve Grogan. These are my heroes.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah. And then fantasy football, which I started in college, that has made football kind of like the center of my universe. Sorry to my wife and kids. And yeah, and I do enjoy watching the Celtics every once in a while. I have a friend here who has Clipper tickets, season tickets, and he always has come, when the Celtics are in town, so that's really sweet. Yeah, I like the Bruins too, but I just don't ever really get around the TV to watch games for those things.
We're gonna sell you on the seats.
Yeah, I think we need to. I mean, listen, you're a legitimate, passionate Patriots fan that, like you said, goes back decades and decades. There's no bandwagoning. There's no pink hat there. I think it's okay to just hop on the bus with the Celtics, man, because they're 18-4. They're the best team in the NBA. Al Horford, by the way, getting a contract extension this morning. I don't want fans to think that we forgot about that fact. That's a big deal. That's noteworthy. But Jayson Tatum in front of the Royals last night, you know, with the Prince and Princess of Wales sitting courtside at the Garden, goes off for 49 points, was excellent in that game. This team continues to roll. I think you need to jump in and you don't need to like go get NBA League Pass or something like that. They're televised nationally plenty. You know, dive into a game or two and check out what's going on, because you have right now, as fans of this podcast know, we don't need to educate the diehard Celtics fans on this, but you have got a 1-2 tandem of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown that rivals any other in the NBA right now. I mean, this is probably how, and I'm not saying this is what it will be, but this must be how like Bulls fans felt at the beginning of Jordan and Pippen. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, there are guys. They're going to win a bunch of titles here, and this is what it's going to look like. So we're just tracking Banner 18.
Great. I watched the that's all very encouraging. I watched the postseason last year, so I'm familiar with the guys that were in that team. Now, how much of that has changed? Are they all still
Mostly
the same faces?
Same group. Yeah, it's
mostly. They've tweaked it, and it's way better. Like it's Adam and I will both get into the minutia of it later on in the season here, but like, this is a team that went to the NBA Finals, and if the team that went to the NBA Finals last year played this team right now, this year's team would kill them.
That's great.
It wouldn't even, like, I know, Adam, 5 games, 6 games. I wouldn't even.
I think that's fair.
To me, be that hard. It's one of those things. If you grew up watching, Larry Bird and Kevin McHale and Parrish and those teams, this is the beginning of that next group of like, these guys are going to be here for a while. The hope is several championships in contention every year for a decade. Like, that's what this is. And, we've been going through the beginning stages of it, the past couple of years, as frustrating as it's been. They've also just won a ton of games too. Like, they've been able to, at young ages, like Jayson Tatum and Jaylen Brown have gone to the Eastern Conference Finals more than most of the guys in the NBA, like not named LeBron James or Steph Curry. So it's just like this group, the organization, the ownership, Brad Stevens being the guy that's been in charge of a lot of this, like the continuity they've been able to put together here is exactly what you want. Like, you look at those Tom Brady, Bill Belichick title teams, what was one of the biggest reasons why they succeeded for a long time? Continuity. Things didn't change that much from year to year. This is a kind of one of those opportunities. And if you want to jump in now, say you were there the whole time, totally fine with it.
Yeah, we won't.
Yeah. No. Let's keep it all, on the up and up. I'll be honest. I'm a re-emerging Celtics fan now. So what happened with go ahead. Well, was there a seamless transition? Obviously, it sounds like if they're 18-4 for the coach, because there was the coaching scandal, and then or the scandal with the coach, and now the interim coach is who?
Joe Mazzulla, who is he was on the staff the last few years as an assistant, and so there was already a relationship with the players, which was good. It wasn't like a new guy just coming in off the street right before training camp. But
it's not Jeff Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
No, not Jeff Saturday. Some guy that was in
the guy stepping out of the analyst chair who's like, yeah, I'm a Hall of Famer, so of course I can coach. But I am wondering with you, because like you said, grew up a huge Patriots Red Sox fan, but when you were a kid and growing up in this area, those Celtics teams, you were. I'm trying to think of, I guess, the timeline. It was certainly the prime Bird years and toward the end of
prime,
before the transition. So
it was, and that was when everybody was a Celtics fan. I mean, we watched every game back then. I went to games.
So it just didn't stick with you?
And Bruins too. Like, my dad was a diehard Bruins fan. I watched a ton of hockey as a kid, and the pond would freeze over and we would play hockey. Yeah. I was never very good at hockey, but I would get out there. And I think that what happened was going to Syracuse, where I went to college. I became
wait a minute, what?
Yeah. We're all Syracuse?
All Syracuse. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Go Orange.
Yeah.
Class of 92. Class of 92.
Just the hangover wolf pack right here. The 3 best friends anyone could have.
Great.
That's right.
I go to Fagan's. Flip night.
Oh man. Oh my. Fagan's flip night. It's one of my best friends worked. And he would do the thing where he would flip it go like this and say, you know, and you'd say heads, and he wouldn't even. He just, oh, you won again, Tom.
Nice.
You know, another free beer. So can't wait to go back. I'm dying to go back to Syracuse and kind of just see it and have a little nostalgia moment. That's where I met my wife. My wife and I were both were in the drama program there. She's not a professional actor. She pretty much moved to New York and like was like, I don't want to do acting anymore. But that's where we met. So I was a huge college basketball fan, obviously. I would say then once I moved to New York to start my career, I just had less. I didn't have a TV. I had less and less time to do what I wanted to do, if sports viewing wise. The only thing I was keeping up with was the Sox and baseball makes it very easy to keep up with it now with iPhones and apps and all that stuff. So something just happened with basketball where it wasn't on my radar anymore. And hockey, forget it. Only when I film in Canada do I really pay attention to hockey.
Well, they're also excellent. The Bruins, by the way, the just so you're aware,
even better than the Celtics.
Yeah, the Celtics and Bruins are both tops in their respective leagues at the moment. For your
awesome
casual fandom to be, you know.
So it sounds like everything's going well. They don't need me, really. They're fine.
Welcome, you know, wait back in the water.
Maybe we should make note of the divide. Like the teams that you don't really pay attention to are at the top of their leagues. Meanwhile,
maybe I should stay away.
The
He's
Red
the
Sox,
bad luck guy.
The Red Sox are on the cusp of losing, you know, Devers and Bogarts and turmoil, despite these recent 4 championships. And obviously the Patriots are sort of in reveled in mediocrity at the moment.
Absolutely, they got a big game tonight.
Huge. I mean, I don't know how it'll time out with people listening to the show, but an enormous game against the Bills tonight. That virtual must win, really.
And if it's a blowout and it's not worth watching, flip over to NBC to Dolly Parton's Mountain Magic Christmas, where you can see me
promoting this. Are you? So I assume you're in this.
I am in this. I play Dolly Parton's producer, and we make a Christmas movie, folks. I spent the summer with Dolly Parton. Eat your heart out.
Not a lot of people could say that. You were in.
No.
Are you nervous with that? Like, I know you've met a lot of different people all throughout your walks of life, but Dolly Parton is kind of like in a different stratosphere than most people, I think.
She is. She's like the legend, and I get nervous. I do. For you know, someone who's been in this business as long as I have, I still get nervous. But very much like Tom Hanks, they're the kind of person that is so big that you're normally nervous, but then within the first minute, they're so cool and down to earth, you're not nervous anymore. They're just chatting with you. And she's just that kind of person. She was very funny and cool and sweet and just like the greatest. And we had a wonderful time working together. There was no, you know, like star, you know, BS. She was just cool.
Is she a big Celtics fan?
She is. I don't even know if she knows about the Celtics.
Has she ever heard of the Boston Celtics?
Didn't come up. It didn't come up.
It's weird. I can't believe that.
You know, you know, she's just like the queen. So, yeah. So folks, if the Patriots getting blown out tonight, NBC, Dolly Parton, My Magic Christmas, I have to promote it. A minute.
I feel like I need to ask which one you'll be watching.
Why are you asking me what time? Hold on, wait. That's
we have to make sure we get the details correct on this.
Check your local listings.
There you go.
Yeah, it depends where you are, right? It's a time zone thing.
Yeah. So, what is your audience? Mostly East Coast?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just somebody just vamp while I look.
That access to those analytics, Tom.
Yeah, I know, right? It's tough. If I put them on the spot, it's tough. I'm gonna guess it's probably around 8 o'clock, but
it feels like an 8 o'clock kind of.
It does. It really does. I think you're right. Let's just call it prime time. Let's just say that it's on at 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
So it's 2 hours long. It's 2 hours long. You're going to see some of it if you turn it on at 8.
Will you be watching the Patriots and recording that, or will you be, you know, watching the movie and flipping over to the Pats? How does one handle this situation?
I don't appreciate you putting me on the spot like this because we just met, but I will say that if that I've already seen the movie and it's fantastic, maybe I'll do a little like a 2-screen thing.
Sure. But people still have picture-in-picture TVs, don't they?
No, I don't know. Yeah, that's a thing.
We graduated. Everybody has like several screens instead of picture-in-picture. It's just everybody's got like 2 TVs set up.
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah. People just have side-by-side TVs. That's
Right.
the normal thing to do.
Oh my God. My son is like some creature from a sci-fi movie. He's like on his phone, on his laptop with his TV, and he's
Yeah.
doing like 3 to 4 things at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't. I'm at it like it drives my wife crazy because she is the total opposite in this respect. But I can't like if I'm not multitasking it, whatever it is, I feel like I'm not doing anything. I can't do one thing at a time anymore. It's really terrible.
Isn't that bad? That's got to be bad for us. Is that bad, or is that just going to make us evolve even something even better?
It doesn't feel better.
I don't feel. It doesn't feel like it's going the right direction.
Yeah, it doesn't feel better. It feels
I
Right.
have
like
like 18
I'm
tabs open at the same time. Never mind like doing several things on different screens all the time.
Here's what scares me is that in LA, especially where you drive a lot, at first you're like, oh, I'm going to get pulled over. I'm on my phone and it's dangerous. I shouldn't be doing that. Cut to me now, like I'm really good at like scrolling and driving at the same time. I'm
Yeah.
really good at this.
God, I haven't looked at the road in about 45 seconds. This
Shouldn't
is-
be
And I'm
blowing
fine.
yourself.
And I'm fine.
yeah.
It's really good. We're good at it. Yeah.
So I think what we need to do, and whether this is, it feels, in the interest of the show, it really should be kind of more Celtic specific, obviously. But so I mentioned Donnie Wahlberg was on the show last week. Donnie is
Wow.
a passionate, well, all things Boston sports fans. But I would say that his, like in the same way that you're Pats Red Sox first, he's probably Celtics Pats first. Like those are his big two versus the other two, and he has really like I think he's taken the mantle as like the face of celebrity Celtics fans. Like he's a diehard knowledgeable fan, can talk the game, all of it, much, as I'm sure you can with the teams you're passionate about. And it goes to a lot of games, all that stuff. I feel like though we need to like he needs company, in the group. Like we need a more. There are so many celebrities that are from Boston proper, right? There are so many big names, so many, but and like they talk about their, whether it's like Affleck and Damon and those guys talking about their sports fandom and late night interviews. But I feel like we need to really like we need more at front and center.
Yeah, well, listen, I am all in. I will be part of Donnie Wahlberg's entourage. See what I did there?
Yeah.
I would be happy to. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like we need to like get Krasinski on the horn. Lenny Clark out here obviously is a friend of ours. He's a successful and a huge sports fan as well. We need like to really expand the group. I just assume that you Boston local celebrities all just have a massive text chain that you guys can coordinate this.
Oh yeah, we're all just on a big text group.
No question. Yeah, I mean, like it's just a lot of success at this point. It's been nice. I mean, to go again, the fact that I've seen 4 Red Sox World Series titles in my lifetime is astonishing because my grandfather went 86 years, his whole lifetime, without seeing one. He was just born in 1919 and passed away in 2003. And literally just missed it. I mean, just missed it.
Oh no!
I know. I was like heartbroken in ways in one. But
so
like,
so he was the problem. You're saying?
Tough. That's all right. No, that's all right.
He was the jinx.
That's right. Hey, look,
2004. They're on that run and they're coming back. So my son is going to be born. And it was my daughter, who's older, our first kid, was an emergency C-section. And then just for safety, if you're going to have another kid, they usually suggest that you have another C-section just because it's safer. So very civilized, have a scheduled C-section for your birth of your child. It's very nice because it's on the calendar. There's no surprises.
It's like any other appointment.
Yeah. So we've got that going. I'm shooting a movie in San Diego, but we're going to have the baby up here in Los Angeles. So I'm driving back and forth to work on this movie I'm doing with it's called Surrender Dorothy, if anybody's interested, with Diane Keaton. It was a wonderful movie, and Chris Pine. And so I'm following the game on the radio, driving back and forth, and one of the games against the Yankees was rained out, and so that pushed the schedule. So then I'm thinking, if they do come back, because they're going to come back, and our scheduled C-section will be on the day of Game 7. So my son will be born, if there's a Game 7, he'll be born on that morning. So sure enough, that's what happened. So that day that my son was born, they broke the curse. So I consider him the birth of the Bambino.
That's it. That's it.
And I
But
think
but being like all Boston sports fans are neurotic to some degree. So
Oh, yeah.
it had to be in your head. What if we lose this game? Like, what if I bring a kid into the world on the day of a game 7 and we lose this game? Is my kid bad luck?
Well, it would go from naming him Johnny Damon to, not naming him Johnny Damon.
Right.
Which we didn't name him Johnny Damon, thank God, because he went to the Yankees after
Yeah,
that.
right. That could have
No, we named him Big Poppy. My son's name is David Ortiz Everett Scott.
There you go.
So yeah, all hyphenated. Four names. I have 3 first names. He has 4 names. So yeah, I mean, that was just such a big moment. And then they just were so good after that. But I was there for those lean years, man. I was living in New York at the start of my career when the Yankees were just like constantly winning. It was so horrible. And I married into a Yankee family. My brother-in-law, my father-in-law, just huge Yankee. It sucks, man. But hold down the fort.
Probably not so much right now. I mean, it's not. I mean, like, I know,
so
like,
hard,
they had a good year in Aaron Judge and
They're
all
always
that,
good.
but like it's not like, I mean, they haven't won a championship since what, 09?
Peasants.
Yeah.
So
No, they've been the Astros, BITCH, haven't they?
Yeah, it's been great. Yeah,
I'm spelling my swear words.
I was
spelling my swear
Evan,
words,
how's that work?
folks.
We can't say certain things. Can we spell them?
no, that's all right. I try to keep it down. Keep the swearing to a minimum on this show. But
Well,
like,
if the kids are young enough, they can't spell it anyway, so it'll be fine.
you're gonna what was
Sitting there
the
in the car with their parents sounding it out?
yeah,
B-I.
singing it?
Yeah.
I think correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if it's still. I think it might have closed down, but there used to be a Red Sox bar in New York called Professor Tom's.
I don't know of it, but there is a really famous one here in Santa Monica. Is it called? See, this is my brain doesn't work anymore.
All
Sonny
right.
McLean's. It's called Sonny McLean's, and it's really famous. And all they go to games whenever the Red Sox come out here and play, like the Dodgers or usually the Angels. A whole group will go and sit in like right field bleachers, and that's kind of like the big is this it? Sonny McLean's? Yeah. Sonny McLean's is an Irish pub, and I believe that's where Whitey Bulger was spotted.
Oh,
No kidding.
what a trivia
Yeah.
question!
It's when his girlfriend got sloppy at the end.
Yeah. I believe he was spotted there a few times, and he was found in Santa Monica. Yeah. Anyway, that's fun. But yeah, there is definitely a contingent of fans out here. One of my buddies who I went to Syracuse with, Jay Harrington, who you probably don't know his name, but you've seen his face. He's in a ton of stuff. He's on a show right now, I think called SWAT. And but he's one of my local pals who's a diehard. And then Jay Larson is a stand-up comic who's a huge Red Sox fan, friend of mine. I mean, there's you find your people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't want to presume that you could do this on your own. Do you and a collection of friends, maybe a large collection of friends, given what teams go for these days, would you be interested in buying the Red Sox? Because I feel like John Henry is not taking this team.
Oh my gosh. I mean, teams are going for a lot of money.
I mean,
these
literally
days.
billions of dollars.
So they just figured it out. Someone just figured it out. Like they're like, this is one way to just, invest. I don't think I mean, of course I'd want to be part of a team. Are you kidding? That'd be amazing. I'd move home. I'd move back to East Bridgewater.
Yeah, specifically East Bridgewater.
I'd have to live there. I'd have to live on that pond and skate on it when it freezes.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, why not? I would love
like
that.
Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhaney owning Wrexham. Same kind of thing, except just larger scale.
Just sign Rafael Devers. That's all I'm asking. I'm literally all I'm asking.
We'll start a GoFundMe.
Right? Oh my gosh. I mean, they got to keep Devers. Are they not going to keep Bogey?
It doesn't feel like it currently.
It doesn't feel good. Yeah.
This feels eerily similar to the Mookie thing, and I have not forgiven them. I know they won a World. See, that's the thing.
Yeah.
I will never forgive them for Mookie ever. I can't.
That's the saddest toy I own.
At least he's closer to you now.
That's right.
He is. Yeah. In fact, one of the wonderful benefits of being in the Tom Hanks That Thing You Do family is they have Dodger season tickets, and we all go to games.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so I
awesome.
do get to see, I get to see Mookie on a regular basis, but just for another team.
Do you? I don't know how close you're able to get. Have you talked to him and expressed that your disappointment that he left Boston?
Mookie? No, I don't get anywhere near Mookie. No. We sit no. We're in a fancy box. But I mean, shit. I love that. I love like I have friends who are closer to the team. Like I'm not close to the team.
Yeah.
But like a buddy of mine, Michael Kelly, who was for years, he was on House of Cards. He played he played Kevin Spacey's like right hand man. He's I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. He played Doug Stamper on House of Cards. Anyway, Michael is from Atlanta and he's a diehard Braves fan, and he's pushy. Let's just put it that way. And he just pushed his way right in, becoming friends with the people who own the Braves and stuff and the Falcons. He's always standing on the sidelines, like, or So the Braves came out here and played the Dodgers, and so he got us all like we went on the field, we met all the players. Someday I'll be pushy and I'll do that too.
When's the
For my
last time you
teams.
went to a Celtics game in Boston?
Oh, when I was a kid. I mean, I haven't
well,
been in years.
it's time to make this happen, Tom.
All right.
I don't know if all three of us need to go together, or you need to. If you don't want to hang out with us outside of this podcast, that's okay too. And you want to go with your close friends or your wife or whoever, family, like you just need to get out to the Garden and see a game.
Yeah,
They don't want to come with me. They didn't come with me to see their grandmother. Are you kidding? They're not going to come. It's going to be me and you guys.
That's right.
Perfect.
It's great. We're ready.
And we're going to be sitting next to the Royals.
Gonna be great. Yeah, I mean they're diehards now. I mean they were supposed to leave at halftime, and they said, "Screw it, we're having a good time. We're not leaving."
Now, who are we talking about here? Was it Meghan and Harry? Was it
No,
William?
Meghan and Harry are too busy with their Netflix show. It was Kate and William were at the game.
Right
William was
on.
very impressed last night. I'll tell you, he was all about Jayson Tatum last night. And how was he not? The guy had 49 points. He was unbelievable. 8 of 12 from 3-point range, 11 rebounds. He's the MVP. Well, you could make a case that he's the MVP.
He's the MVP front runner right now.
Yeah.
Or at least
that's fantastic.
He's actually in second.
How old is Jayson Tatum?
What is he?
24? 19.
Yeah, he's only 19, as we always like to say. I want to say he's 24.
That's how old Rafi Devers is, still 19.
Exactly. Yeah, 24 turns 25 in March, a couple months away. So he's only, I mean, the way basketball works, he's only just entering his prime years right now.
Right. Amazing.
Just get on, you catch it as the roller coaster's going up, Tom. That's all we got.
All right, guys, I'm in. All right, this is it. Now watch them start losing, and you'll be like texting me like, "Please stop watching, Tom."
Yeah, turned off, unsubscribe from League Pass. Yeah, so I don't know how often you're back this way to see your folks, but let's make that happen at some point. That'll be fun. Listen, I have an extra room. You don't even need to stay in a hotel in Worcester. You're welcome to crash, and we'll watch that thing you do.
I love it. Absolutely.
And the Dolly Parton movie. I will DVR it.
NBC.
We'll do a little
Thursday night.
Before you go though, because we will wrap up in a few minutes. But before you go, we can't spend as much time as we have talking about your acting career without. I have to.
You better be going where I think you're going with this.
I have to.
I wonder. I can't know.
I got to bring up.
Yes.
Enemies Closer.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Which
all right.
I'm showing the people, for anyone watching the video. For
you actually bought it.
Listen.
Thank you. Dude. I think I got that 1 cent check.
You can do, baby.
It's like I'm written in the memo section too.
Yes. You should be in the liner notes just for buying it.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't want to make light of working with Tom Hanks. I've never worked with Tom Hanks, but a lot of people have worked with Tom Hanks. How many people can say that they have sparred with Jean-Claude Van Damme? That is a much shorter list, my friend.
Listen, I'll tell you, I was very excited to go and do this. Now, just a little quick backstory on this. I went to Syracuse, and one of my friends from there is a director named John Hyams. We're buds. We've worked on a ton of stuff together. His father, Peter Hyams, is a very famous director from like the 70s, 80s, 90s. He directed a bunch of Jean-Claude Van Damme movies. One of them being like Time Cop, and he goes.
Love Time Cop. So good.
I have a Time Cop movie poster.
It's so good.
Perfect.
Framed.
Remember in the trailer he does the split.
Yeah, of course.
Too good.
To avoid getting shot. Yeah. So that's his signature move. So Peter,
back when he could do it anyway.
So John Hyams' dad, Peter, who's like another, adult parent to me out here on the West Coast. He wanted to make this movie with me, and he's like, Tommy, I want you to come to. We shot this in Bulgaria, in the woods, on a lake in the middle of nowhere. It was crazy, and I got to work with Jean-Claude Van Damme, and since Peter and his son John have both directed Jean-Claude, or JCVD, or JC, whatever you want to call him, he says,
Whatever. Yeah.
just be careful, because he's kind of a wild card, and he is.
Okay.
He is. I probably have way too many stories to tell you. I'll just tell you one. So
And then off air the rest.
in the movie, there's a fight sequence in a tree. Like we're like kind of crashing down a tree and fighting at the same time.
Right.
So stunt guys are doing most of that work, but there's a close up of him choking me. And during this part of the filming, and Jean-Claude would be on set very rarely. He usually had like his double or somebody else doing all the other stuff, but the tight stuff, he's there.
Mhm.
And sorry to disappoint.
Yeah,
But-
a little bit, but it's okay.
And like,
Never
and
meet
he's
the
a little bit of-
heroes. Go on.
and he's a little bit of a wild card. And I don't think he knew my real name. The whole time he just called me Henry because that was my character's name.
Perfect.
So
He's in
Henry,
character.
Henry. And so he like has his arm
Method
around me.
actor, that's all.
He's behind me. He's got his arm around my neck like this. And to sell being choked without actually being choked, the actor who's being choked puts their hand here on the other guy's arm and just keeps it from killing them, and then just sells it like you're like, oh, like you're choked, right? So that's what I'm going to hopefully do. So we're lining up the shot, and he's got his arm around my neck, and he goes, "How's this, Henry? How's this? Is this okay?" And I'm like, "Yep, yeah, Jean-Claude, this is perfect, just like this. This will be great." Okay, and action. He starts choking the life out of me, for real, and I'm like, I'm like fighting for my life. Cut. Peter comes over. He goes, "Guys, that was great," and I'm like. And Jean-Claude's like, "Henry, you okay? Was that okay?" And I'm like, "Gee," and I'm thinking like they got it, like that's the take, and they got it. And Peter's like, "Let's get one more for safety." And I'm like, "No,
Who's safety?
Whose safety?
mine.
Not mine. That's for sure.
Yeah.
He was just a maniac. He was a maniac, and we actually had a lot of fun. There was a lot of good stuff on that movie, but I could not wait to come home.
There aren't too many that he's played the bad guy, so he probably really relished that opportunity.
He was the most fantastically bizarre bad guy. He was like some kind of like Joaquin Phoenix Joker on
Yeah.
lots of drugs. Yeah, and I got to be the good guy. The only thing my problem with it, I love Enemies Closer. It's such a weird B movie, but when I read it, I was like, oh, I love that he's a park ranger and that he's the good guy. But then the whole that he's also a Navy SEAL, I was like, Peter, do I
A
look
little
like a Navy
far-fetched for
SEAL?
you.
No, I loved it.
I
I,
mean-
actually thought that was the best part. It's like it's the off-scene park ranger Navy SEAL combo. Okay,
Yes.
it makes
Yeah.
what's going on in the real world.
I was like, let's just drop the Navy SEAL stuff, because I think that if he uses his park ranger skills to beat this, martial arts baddie, that'd be more interesting. And Peter's like, no, we can't do that. We can't change it now. No, you're a Navy SEAL, blah, blah, blah. So we start, I'm like, Peter, I'm telling you, there's nothing about me that says Navy SEAL. So I'm more of like a dad, like Christmas dad. And so he like starts filming, and sure enough, that first couple takes comes over and he goes, "All right, Tommy, this time, gotta walk a little bit more like a man. Just a little bit more like a man. Just think Navy SEAL, walk like a man." And so that wasn't
Great
you
note.
know,
That's
that wasn't
Great note.
emasculating at all.
Not at all.
And I was like calling John, who's editing the movie for his dad, my buddy from college. I'm calling him. I'm like telling him what his dad was telling me, and he goes, "Well, I guess you know what the title of this chapter of your book will be called.
Yeah.
Walk like a man."
That's awesome. I mean, how quickly do you say yes to doing a kung fu movie with Jean-Claude Van Damme? Is that like immediate?
Oh,
It's
immediate,
like, I don't even need to see
Immediate?
the
Yeah.
script. I'm in.
I figured
immediate.
that's
Yeah.
excellent.
Plus, plus Clifford Franklin's in it.
Yeah,
So Orlando Jones, for those that don't know.
yeah. From the
Yeah. Orlando Jones
Well, I
was.
know you know, but for anyone
He was
that
my
doesn't know.
saving. He was the saving grace of that experience. Bulgaria is a very strange place to shoot, so I was really grateful to have Orlando there with me.
I really feel like I mean, obviously, it sounds like you're still very much in touch with Tom Hanks. I feel like if you said to me like, "Hey, Adam, you could have one of these guys' phone numbers, and I will text you their contact right now." Tom Hanks, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm just deranged enough to say, yeah, throw JC's number over this way, and let's get him on the Celtic Speed podcast. I'm a little concerned that he may or may not have known your name, though. That's
yeah, but yeah, I'll tell him Henry sent you. You know, like
exactly.
Yeah, boy, that's a weird choice for you, man. I mean, good luck with that. Good luck with
it probably won't take you far, but cool.
Yeah. Jean-Claude just might show up at your door if I give him your contact info.
He is a wild card, so
dreams do come true. Yeah. Yeah, just a lunatic in the best way. I say that with, you know, having no personal knowledge of him beyond what you read about, obviously. But
right.
No, this is great. This is fun. We could we're definitely gonna have to continue this out of the garden at some point. How often you
Sounds great. You guys have my contact info.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I'm in town. I would love to catch you at the Celtics game. That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
Don't wait for the finals though, because then they will accuse you of being a bandwagon fan.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you gotta go to like the Charlotte game.
Gotta show up on a
rogue ass Spurs, Charlotte, Indiana. You know, you pick a only a diehard would go to this game. That way we can convince everybody that you were there the whole time. We'll be your PR team. We'll spin it. We got you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Well, Tom Everett Scott, and you know, we'll have to do this again at some point. I wish the Patriots luck tonight. Obviously, do you have this? This will be a little dated for some people depending on when they listen. But do you have a prediction for this one tonight?
Okay, that's a great one. So I guess Von Miller is not going to play tonight,
Correct.
and but then the Patriots offensive line, I think we're probably going to be down a couple guys. So it could still be tough to keep Mac Jones upright. I don't know. Patriots are probably going to keep it closer than the spread says. I would even take the Patriots to cover tonight. We'll see.
Bills might punt once or twice.
They might. I mean, but then again, Josh Allen, I think he's over that elbow thing. He's probably like really healthy, and you could tune in and it could be like 40-20 final score. You know,
I hope not.
Yeah, I think the Bills have some offensive linemen out though, so maybe Judon and Uche, some of the guys, you know, up front and get home and try. The big thing is, and I forget, did we have? Maybe it was Donnie that talked about this. Having Duggar back is a big deal.
Yeah,
because he's the perfect guy for the spy on the quarterback because he's really good at that.
Duggar's great. What a great find he was in the draft. I mean, that's what Bill Belichick is really great at, finding those defensive guys. And we'll see. You know, the second meeting of division rivals in the season is usually closer or lower scoring games. So maybe we might have that on top. Yeah, I'm hoping.
Yeah, we'll find out. Well, I was about to say it'll be a good time. I hope it's a good time for those of us that are watching. And if it's not, Tom has already provided you options. You can flip.
NBC tonight.
NBC
primetime.
NBC primetime. Dolly World. Make sure you check it out. Tom,
have a holly dolly Christmas.
That's adorable.
Really appreciate you hopping on with us. It's a lot of fun, man.
All right, thanks, guys. I really appreciate you having me on. Adam, Evan, wonderful talking to you guys.
For Tom Everett Scott, Evan Valenti, I'm Adam Kaufman. We'll catch you again on Celtics Beat. More in-depth Celtics analysis related to the Al Horford contract next week. Count on that. We'll see you.